Hello, lovely souls. My name is Jackie, and welcome to the Raven Rabbit Wellness Studio podcast. I'm an enrolled member of the Washoe Tribe of California, Nevada. I have always been deeply connected to the unseen spiritual world since I was a child. I wouldn't say that my spiritual awakening can be pinpointed to one specific date, time, or event, but rather it was a natural unfolding over my lifetime. And I want to share that journey with you to let you know that your spiritual awakening is divinely guided. If you want help with self-worth and self-doubt, then this is the place for you. I took baby steps to change my life and heal from anxiety, depression, and self-doubt. Ultimately, I built Raven Rabbit in my quest to help others like you do the same. I am a metaphysical minister, energy healer, and intuitive coach. In this podcast, I draw on metaphysical principles, I read energy, and I intuitively guide our conversation with the holistic, indigenous, spiritual approach to life, healing, and happiness. Stick around to explore the unseen, navigate metaphysics to live your life to the fullest, be the happiest version of yourself, and to deeply heal from what holds you back. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Raven Rabbit Wellness Studio podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Reverend Jackie Cope, and I'm so excited to be here with you on episode 18. This is an extension, part 2 of my emergency brain tumor surgery. This is the spiritual connection behind that I'm seeing and feeling and living through right now. So in the last episode, I told you everything that had happened in just a simple way. Today, I really want to get into the spiritual side. So when I was getting really sick, again, I thought it was just very 3D. Oh, I don't feel good. I'm prenatal. We just got to go figure out what to do to help me have less morning sickness and stuff. I wasn't really thinking too spiritually about this issue at all whatsoever. When we got there and we got told what we were told about the tumor, it definitely shifted. I would say old me before my spiritual journey and stuff would have had a big reaction. This time around, I didn't have a big reaction. We got told what we were told. I heard it. We sat there. We waited. I felt much calmer through the process from being spiritual, being told something so big at 22 weeks pregnant. And I think I handled it really well, especially if you reflect back on my younger adult years where I was highly emotional and lots of anxiety and all of that. When we got to the hospital, I still remained calm. Time kind of slowed down a little for me. We didn't feel rushed. We didn't feel like it was taking forever. It felt just right. The day before, when they finally gave me a surgery time, that's when I started praying more and being a little more spiritual. I started sending Reiki and energy healings to my surgery room because I knew I was an emergency operation. I wasn't on the schedule that week, and people have lives and things to do, and now we got me thrown in there on the schedule, and I just really wanted to make sure that everyone who was going to be on my team that day and be in the room with me would have really clear guided hands, be present, be there with me, because we all have lives. We have things to do. We have things we're thinking about, personal lives. And so I sent that over the emergency surgery operating room. So in my mind, as I was praying about the surgery, I imagined all the energy healing getting filled up above the room. And for me, it was like an endless supply, because you never know what you might need in surgery. Just an endless supply of beautiful energy healing that would be delivered to whoever needed it, when they needed it, to the part it would need to go to, and just to be protected over the whole time. When we went in there, that definitely happened, because everything went very well. I also said that energy can come back to me. Just keep that energy with me as I recover as well. And then that first night of recovery, I was still very out of it, a lot of pain because I got out of recovery at nighttime. The room felt so busy. I felt all my spirit guides, extra spirit guides that might have not normally been there, but maybe were invited. And it felt like a very busy room, and it felt like they were all working on energy healing. They were surrounding me everywhere, working on stuff. Some were sitting on the bed with me, some were just in the room. The room felt very full that night of people there loving on me, caring for me, and all of that. All the spirit guides were there that first night. The next day, they were there. They let the doctors do their work and the nurses. There's still a lot of healing. When I would doze off, I'd feel somebody come in and sit with me and do some work. One of the times when someone came to do energy healing work on me, it was very serious work. She had to be in a very specific spot on my bed and do very specific things, it seemed, and it had to be her exact way. She stands out in my healing. And then from there, just my spirit guides coming and going as they were needed is what I felt in the room, definitely. When I had my MRI afterwards to do the pathology report and everything, the room felt really full. And that one's a little more odd. It felt like a Girl Scout troop. But it felt really full of people in the MRI room sitting there with me. And even though that's where we get into those dimensions and the things that are different, because I know there's so many dimensions happening. So who knows? That was an odd one to come through, but that's who felt like it was there. It felt like a Girl Scout troop. It felt like just happy. And then I went back to the room after that, and that they didn't come back. They were just there in that MRI room watching over. So they could have its own space there in the MRI room. And then from there, just visitors in and out, doing energy healing, me praying for it. I sent it on our car ride because I knew that was a long ride. And then just having it here at home with my regular spirit guide team that's with me all the time. Just giving me energy healing when it's needed and wanted, because it's definitely very much invited and wanted right now. So, as I said before, I wasn't expecting this. However, when I did set my intentions, and I have that episode, my word for the year was alignment. And so I wanted anything and everything that happened to me or choices I made, everything needed to be in alignment this year. So I know big time that what happened to me was definitely a part of that word, alignment. And the funny part too is when this emergency brain surgery happened, it happens to be Brain Injury Awareness Month. So talk about some alignment. March is Brain Injury Awareness Month. I'm like, I have some research to do now. Learn about this monthly awareness month. So it's definitely an aligned thing there that I will be looking into. With this alignment, I think something very deep and spiritual had to happen through this brain tumor surgery. I have felt a need to purge for a long time. I've always wanted to purge what was not mine, give it away. I don't want to hold it anymore. I don't want to take it with me. If it's not mine, let's get rid of it. And to me, that was in a very spiritual aspect, a very unseen. So the energies, the auroric fields, the memories, all of this unseen stuff that I would be letting go of. This happened to be a very physical manifestation of that, I think. Something literally had to come out of me. I do not think that's the case most of the time. I think this is a very extreme case when something literally and physically has to go from your body in this type of painful way. So whatever I have been asking to release finally came into form, into the form of a tumor, and then got me so sick to where I would speak up and finally get it out. So I really truly feel that whatever it is I've asked and prayed and manifested to get out is truly finally out. And that could be so many things too, because we also talk about generational trauma. Somebody ready to hold that. Again, I don't think this is typical at all. I think a more typical physical form would be throwing something away, finding something and burning it. I think that would be a very typical form of having something physically connected for release. This was internally connected and then had to be physically removed and released in a very somewhat traumatic, like surgery is not fun, it's traumatic in a very traumatic fashion where my life stopped because now I'm at a stopping point in my life just so I could heal and recover from this. So my connection is that all of this was meant for a reason, and I really did let go of that thing I've always felt. I must have felt it was there, and it finally came out. And so now it's just a healing from there, and we'll see what happens and the shifts from that. Now I definitely feel it's a time to be reflecting on what's truly important to me. I've had these things in my head, and there's always something that stops us from pursuing that or thinking it's possible. And for me, I was very much in my education profession. I'm the director of education right now and really want equitable education. And that's just something I consciously wanted, like, and was pushing for, and was great work. And that's wonderful. The things that I wanted deeply inside are my business, obviously being here, Raven Rabbit, and all of the work that I do in the spiritual realm. I was still doing it. I didn't say no to it. But maybe shifting my focus a little bit more definitely onto this work that is so, so important to me. So I'll definitely be making those adjustments in my time. And being more present has definitely come through. I don't think I was being present enough. You talk about it, you say it, you try to do it, and then you realize your downfalls in that. So presence is definitely a huge theme for me popping up through this. As we move forward spiritually as well, just checking in with my guides on this because I've been thinking about it for days. Being more of a service to others is also very important too. So being present, being of service to others, and making sure I'm focusing on those things that are really important to me. Instead of letting my logical mind come in and be like, that's important, but how is that going to pay the bills? And how is that going to take care of you? Those things will sort themselves out, definitely. So now I reflect on more of that spiritual side. I know to me that sounds not like a lot. Like, oh, my room was full of energy healers and my spiritual guides. That might be a lot for some people. And that's a lot to take in. And maybe you don't go into surgeries with that type of mindset. So it might be a whole new thing you're ready to learn more about, dive into. There's just so much out there in the world to learn in our unseen world. So I really showed my vulnerable side of those things. People who know me deep know, I've seen spirits and stuff my whole life. It was a lot of fear behind that, rejection behind that, and not wanting to be involved in that. From warnings from my grandma, rightfully so. But now as I go forward, it's definitely more open about it. So, yeah, I went to surgery and I definitely felt my spirit guides there and my healers there, and even beyond, even like reinforcements for a favor call in from the other spirit teams. So that might be a lot for some people. If it's something you've been thinking about, I encourage you to keep looking, keep meditating. Definitely always go within to look and to hear and connect to your higher self to learn about this stuff. I told you I'm in my master's program for metaphysics, and the big thing I did last night for my homework was about don't make a physical, 3D person that we would know, a friend, like put them on a pedestal and make them a master. We're not here to glorify each other. And it was guru-rice, that's the word. Don't guru-rice somebody, which is wonderful because it's about you, and it's so, so personal. Something that you experience will be like nobody else's. There can definitely be similarities. We definitely have some stuff that happens that are small and aligned with one another. Some things, though, can be way out there and truly meant just for us in this lifetime, in this moment. And depending on who we're friends with and what timeline they're on, they could be so different. What our spirit is ready to witness and see in this present lifetime. So if that interests you, some of the things I said, I'm here for those types of questions, spiritual coaching. Also, there's tons of other spiritual coaches out there too who are ready to help you and hear about those things and help you navigate that. Because sometimes the navigation process is just being able to talk about it freely without judgment and just let it out. Because letting it out is therapeutic in itself. And then you can go back, okay, I said that. What do I think now? For my spiritual people out there, they're probably nodding their heads. Maybe they have got into surgeries and traumatic events. Like they know that they get warned, like they're told this is the traumatic event happening, and then they go in full forces with their whole spiritual team. And that could be a very normal thing. I'm happy for me it was, and I'm happy it was the first thing I thought about when it was happening. It brought me a lot of peace, a lot of comfort, and got me through. And I was thinking, younger Jackie, younger self, how I would have handled this, and I would have rushed. I wouldn't have been able to believe this happened to me. I would have been angry. I would have rushed to just get better and go back to work. But now as I'm older in my spiritual journey, I realize those things aren't important. Rushing is not important. Getting back to work is not important. What's important is making sure I'm a healed whole person so that when I do go back to those things, I do those things correctly and abundantly. So for the first time in my life, I don't want to rush and get back. I don't want to go back. I want to go forward. I want to be definitely different from this and in a very positive, aligned way, because that has been my word this year, and the word is coming through. We are in alignment this year, letting go of old stuff, bringing in the new, and getting me on the exact spiritual path I want to be on. So thanks for listening to my spiritual side of things. I'll definitely be getting deeper into that as we go. And I'm very excited you're here listening. I'm excited to be doing this podcast. Next week, March 18th, I am going to launch my first spiritual course. I haven't really talked about it. So let's do that. So in my meditations, when I decided to take a break, I let me pull it up so I can see the outline. This was channeled to me on how to start my course platform. This is going to be my foundation courses that I'm going to have available. It is called Mystic Rise. So this is my Mystic Rise program. It's going to be 5 parts. The first part will be going live March 18th, and it is called Unlock Your Spiritual Journey, your journal, your guide to spiritual growth. So I am so excited for that. Let me tell you what Mystic Rise is. Step into the radiant world of Mystic Rise, a series that seamlessly blends ancient wisdom with contemporary magic, from unlocking metaphysical secrets to manifesting miracles, healing energy, diving into meditation, and navigating life's waves. Join me, your spiritual friend, on a journey of soulful living. Let's illuminate the path to your truest self, where spirituality meets transcending magic. Don't miss the mystic wave. Enroll now and transform your experience that resonates with you and your essence. Each class is going to be a standalone class that can give you the skills you need to deepen your spiritual journey. Whether you're new to your spiritual journey or deeply entrenched in your spiritual practices, you can find something to take away from these beautiful courses. My recommendation is that you'll go through with me. You'll start with part 1 and go all the way to 5. But it's all about you. I think that entry points are everywhere. There is no exact entry point. So once I have all 5 posted, if you see one that catches your eye, it's going to be standalone. You just take that course if you want it. And that's great. And then we can venture into the other things. The first course is Unlock Your Spiritual Journey, Introduction to Metaphysics and Spiritual Growth. So this is the one I really do. If you're going to be with me on all these courses and have a coaching relationship with me, I think that this is a great foundational lay the groundwork of where I stand, because we are blending my Native American background with spirituality with my metaphysical minister. So I have a unique perspective to share, and could be very different from others. So it gets us on that same page. It overviews what metaphysics is for my schooling and my program that I did. It is an introduction to key universal laws. I love all the universal laws. Then I start thinking about my American Indian spirituality and those laws. I have different opinions about them. So I love sharing those. I share some of those in there. And then I give practical tips for integrating metaphysical principles into your daily life. If you want to practice metaphysics, this is the course for you, because we're going to do. I'm not just going to lecture you. I try to stay light on the lectures with this course. It is 10 minutes at a time. We're busy people. We got things to do. The big part is I give you a workbook and you have homework. You're going to meditate. You're going to write affirmations. You're going to do the work, because that's where the healing is. It's not always about just listening and learning. It's about doing. So that's the big thing with my courses, is I want you to do. I had a grand plan of when all these courses were going to come out. We'll see. I'm not that far off track from, even though having the surgery, I think it'll be just fine. I was spacing these out about 6 weeks so that you would have courses throughout the year. So that's course 1, goes live March 18th. Course 2 will be Manifest Miracles, the Magic of Mindful Creation. Course 3 will be Heal Your Energy, Ignite Your Light, A Journey to Balance. Course 4, Inner Harmony, Meditation and Intuition Unleashed. Course 5, Rise Through Change, Navigating Life's Transformative Waves. So that is my Mystic Rise program that I will be rolling out this year. It's so powerful. It was given to me in December, January, when I was like, I'm going to slow down and really focus on my spiritual courses, and it downloaded to me, and I've just been filling it in and working diligently and making the platform nice, and I'm really excited. So please subscribe to my emails to learn more about it. It will go live. I can't wait to see you in there. It is a work at your own pace, log in when you want type of course. I don't have a live component to it yet, and we'll get there after considering what has happened. But I'll definitely be getting into that as well this year. So thank you so much for being a listener. I hope you're enjoying my Mystic Rise course that is coming up shortly next week. And I'm excited you're here. I love you and have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for listening. Expand the life, healing, and happiness of others in your field by sharing this episode. You can get more of my content and other helpful tips by following Raven Rabbit LLC on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Be sure to comment on Spotify and answer the episode's question so I can keep creating content you love and desire. Thank you so much.